everybody. It's episode 102 of the Gamesline podcast. I am your host this week, Lorelai. John is on a little trip picking up some kitties. This week, I am joined by Crystal. Crystal, how are you doing?
I thought love was only true in fairy tales. Take it away, Lorelai.
Woo! I don't
Meant
know
for
the
someone
words.
else, but not for me. I'm vamping while you look up the lyrics, because I expect you to sing. Love was out to get me. That's the way it seems. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Go.
Because I love it.
I saw her face.
That's right. I bad with music. Apparently. Sorry,
No,
I'm too busy.
Okay.
All I can think about music wise right now is the Tragically Hip. So I'm just too Canadian sometimes.
Do they not have Shrek up in Canada, even though Mike Myers is Canadian?
I mean, we have Shrek up in Canada. I just haven't seen it in like 20 years.
I saw Shrek and Shrek 2 the other day.
Ooh.
You know what? Those movies are all right.
You know, from what I remember, those first couple were like fun little movies.
And they have a good message for the kids.
Yes, exactly. So, first thing, it is the two of us. I wanted to give you a shout out. You're going to start seeing some changes in the format of the Gamesline podcast every month. The second episode of every month is now going to be the Video Game Club, which was your spearheaded thing. Our next game we're going to be playing is Oni from Rockstar.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm like really excited for that because that's a game I haven't played since it came out. So it's going to be fun to dig back into. For those of you who missed it, last week we played Xenoclash and talked about it. And yeah, it's going to be a monthly thing going up. We're going to have a new game every month. You're going to find out on the episode when it comes out, so that every month you can join along with us, play a game, come up with good questions as we can all discuss something really fun. And like, it's been really active in the Discord, which has been really fun.
Yeah, it's nice to have changes. That's another Shrek song.
Yeah, it's actually it's pretty exciting. Like it the podcast, I think, being able to do things like this to bring in more community involvement is something I've always wanted to do. It's why, like, I was doing the guest podcasts, and we've got more of those coming up. We've got another one coming up next week. We're going to try to end every month with a guest podcast as a more consistent, like, hey, we want you to meet more people. We want more people involved in Gamesline, and to just, you know, building things up, and it's really exciting.
They call it the World Wide Web because you're supposed to be connected to others.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so, Crystal.
Hi.
What is it that you would like to discuss this week?
The reason I watched the Shrek films is because I stumbled upon a YouTube video of the Shrek 2 DVD menu, a 26-minute walkthrough from Nostalgia Vault, the YouTube channel. I was like, I forgot about DVD menus. Because I don't use DVDs much anymore, and when I do use DVDs, they don't have menus like this anymore. Back when it was a novel thing, and there was money to go around to invest in the design of the DVD menu, which to me is like, this is the same thing as a video game. There's no difference.
So sometimes it literally is. I actually, like, a couple of months ago, my girlfriend and I watched through all of the Final Destination films. And the third one, its DVD menu actually has a choose your own adventure mode for the whole movie. with
For the whole
different
movie?
scenes that they literally shot more scenes just for the DVD.
Oh my god, that's
So
pretty
like
good.
you could literally choose like, oh yeah, a bunch of people just get off the roller coaster.
Do they have
And then the movie just ends.
Do they have that on backlogs?
I wonder.
No, they don't.
Oh, it's like such a like DVDs used to be the coolest thing in the world. Not just the menus, which some of them are like the wildest, like psychedelic weird shit, but also just like God, DVD special features. Remember those? Remember when we got extra stuff with our movies?
Yeah, you get some behind the scenes interviews. You could download some wallpapers from your desktop. You could do goofs and outtakes.
Commentary tracks, like stuff you just don't see anymore. Like these days, if you get a commentary track, it's because like some director and a couple of the actors were like, hey, let's watch it and put out a podcast.
That's right. They want you to subscribe to their podcast.
And it's honestly depressing. I want dumb, like, I want dumb directors' commentary. I want directors, like, sitting there going, oh yeah, what was I thinking here? I don't know what I was thinking. This could have been so much better. But getting into the heads of people who make stuff is so much more interesting than just watching the movie and never touching the disc again.
There was a trend for a little while there of putting directors' commentaries in games, wasn't there?
Yeah. Valve used to do it all the time. Like, I loved, like, the director's commentary of, like, Left 4 Dead. I used to not know that Gabe Newell's name was Gabe. I used to think he was Gay Ben.
Gaben.
This is like, yeah, this is Gay Ben. And I'm like, as he did commentary for all their different games back then. Like, Steam used to do that a lot, and those were fun.
Yeah, it seems that the peak of this was approximately like 2005 to 2015. Some other non-Valve games that had this are The Chronicles of Riddick, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Fear, Firewatch, MGS4, Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction, and The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Like, more games need stuff like that. Like, I think it could be so interesting just to give people a little bit of a look at the behind the scenes of games. Like, I just started a new job with a game studio here in town, and just like, I'm not allowed to talk about much, but the amount I've been learning about the behind the scenes stuff that is so much different than I thought it was. Like, you never see any of it. You never see how much work it goes into make just like a simple animation in Unreal. Like,
are you able to give one example?
It's hard to say, like, hard to describe, but like on Friday, I was doing a bunch of stuff because it was just so damn hot here that I stayed in the co-op space all day. And it was very funny doing work while somebody behind you was making like the most beautifully rendered UE pornography I've ever seen. And the amount of, like, they spent like 10 straight hours on 8 seconds of animation.
Yeah.
Like, it was very, like, it's very, you don't realize how much work goes into even simple stuff, even when you've already got the tools and everything made, and all of the animation skeletons built out, and, like, video games are hard.
There's a lot that goes into them. And when you just sit down and just really slowly consume a game and think about what would it take to make that, it can be overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah. And it is like, yes, you have all these tools, all these engines that already exist that do help make the game, like, making process a little easier. You've got RPG Maker and stuff like that if you're making a simple thing. Or even a complex thing. Fuck, I've played RPG Maker games that are astoundingly good. But just, like, the amount of time that goes into stuff like this, and nobody is ever actually allowed to, like, fully discuss a lot of that stuff anymore. Like,
yeah, it's too much of a veil of secrecy.
Like, that's part of what I loved about the Valve director's commentaries, was, like, Gay Ben did go into a lot of stuff, like, oh, hey, here was our thinking about this kind of stuff and why we chose to do this. And instead of just, yeah, this is a box. You hide behind boxes. We had to think about, it's like you actually get some knowledge into, hey, why did we put this here? Well, we put it here because when, things are coming in from all different sides, we have to think about where we want cover, and, there's level design is such a cool thing.
Level design, everyone should design a level just to do it.
Honestly, go into, even if you just grab a sheet of graph paper, come up with an idea for a city or a foresty thing, and make a D&D map, a tabletop game map.
Make something.
Like, there are tons of tools to use it. Go into, any of the like, cool programs that are there for online tabletop, and just build a map out and see how much fun you have with it.
You know what's really cool, Lorelai?
Yeah.
People make video games.
They do. They do make video games. And we should respect and listen to them more often.
And I think there's also something simply to the map design of a DVD menu.
Mm-hmm.
Because what a DVD menu creates is, like, it turns a film, which is a linear progression of images and sounds, into this, like, ambient worlds that you can be in passively. You can watch Prince Charming chew a burrito for as long as you want while you choose your subtitle language. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's very, there's an art that is missing, that has been lost in the streaming revolution, if you will. There's a true art that, like, even then, like, half the there are movies that I own, which you could just load up the DVD menu and feel like, hey, this is incredible. Like, half the, like, bad horror movies of the early 2000s all have, like, incredible DVDs. Like, as I said, like, the Final Destination movies all have, like, great DVD menus.
Have you ever made the DVD menu yourself?
No, I have not.
I'm considering it. I don't even know what the software is for that, but maybe it would be fun to make my own DVD menu.
Just collect a bunch of the old Gamesline video content into a DVD with a fun DVD menu. Get some of the old buds here who made it and have them do director's commentary for.
Okay, let's brainstorm. What would be, like, the front menu of a Gamesline DVD?
Ooh. Well, the dog would have to be there. We need the dog. Kurt is necessary for all Gamesline content.
You have, like, Kurt. Yeah, there's gonna be like tracks, different tracks you can make Kurt go down.
Oh yes, That's good. Bring back the old train with the cartoon us's as passengers, but Craig is in the front.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. You can have text content in a DVD too, because you can just like read production notes on a DVD. You can put some of the top Gamesline features in there.
Yeah. You could have them be read by different people.
Get director's commentary on you writing, because if it's on the DVD, it's probably going to go like 2 paragraphs at a time, or even 1. You talk about that paragraph.
Ooh, yeah. And then just, audio track for the visually impaired.
Mm-hmm.
I think is important to have.
So let's see the audio options menu. What do we got there?
Okay, we definitely have audio commentary. We definitely have Spanish. I want to read that shit. It's Spanish.
What's the background video of the audio options menu?
Ooh. Ooh. Do we want to go like old school bouncing around screensaver with shifting images, or
I want it to be something as good as Prince Charming endlessly eating a burrito.
Ooh. We bring in a good live 2D style artist to draw each of us with a simple, repeatable animation.
Okay.
That each menu screen has like John petting a cat. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about the kitties he's been sharing pictures of.
Yeah.
but just like, everyone doing whatever their thing is. Like, you bring in some of the old, like, if you brought back some of the old people, like Solon, you'd have him, like, hanging out with his little blue Pikachu.
You'd have, like, a Lily's desk full of stuff, and each of those things makes, like, a little soundbite.
Mm. And it's clickable.
It's clickable. That's right.
Yeah, it's clickable. So you get the little Easter eggs that some DVD menus have, where it's like you click on some random thing in the background and all of a sudden it's like secret video.
That's right, because sometimes DVDs have different content depending on if it was in a DVD player or in a PC.
Yep. And some DVD players had controllers that would be able to activate some of those.
Oh, yeah. Put this in the new one.
Ooh. God, no, that would be fun. Honestly, Gamesline, like, go through a lot of our classic stuff. Because there's a lot of good shit this site has put out.
The only game I can think of that is on backlog that is like a DVD menu is the Austin Powers Game Boy Color games, which is just kind of like, I mean, it's like DVD special features or like a promotional CD or something, where there's like little mini games, and then you can also just do like choose your wallpaper or play sound clips from the movie or just like read production history of the film.
God. Yeah. God. I miss DVDs so much. You're just making me sad now.
Well, it's not like you've experienced every DVD of the DVD golden age.
True. I mean, I did discover the frickin' Final Destination one literally like a month ago.
Although, it is actually surprisingly quite difficult to find archives of DVD ISOs. Because it seems like you kind of have to just buy the things.
It's a good thing I have a very large collection. I still need to actually organize it again, like, because it is funny, because, like, DVDs back in the day were so cool, and then they went to Blu-ray, and it's like, here's the movie.
You think that shift is economic?
I think it's I think it's economic in the bad way of companies just not wanting to spend the money to maybe invite a director and an actor into an office for 3 hours to do a commentary track, or asking editors to go, hey, what's some of the stuff you cut? Can we throw some of that in there?
I do think the decline of the DVD menu just about lines up with the recession.
A little bit, yeah.
Listeners, if you know of some like great DVDs or even some like great Blu-ray menus, let us know. Where can they let us know, Lorelai?
Yeah, you can let us know at it's not the GameZone.zone anymore. It's going to be Gamesline.chat is going to be our new Discord link, which currently works. So yes, Gamesline.chat is where you can come join us and bring up, hey, what are some cool DVD menus? What are the coolest ones you know? Because I actually want to hear about that, because I like watching movies, and I would like to watch more movies with cool DVD menus, because I still have a DVD player.
Lorelai, can you write me a review of a DVD menu?
Write you a review of am I going to have to write a review of Final Destination 3's Choose Your Own Adventure mode?
Yes.
Okay. I will. I will come up with a way to write a review of Final Destination 3's Choose Your Own Adventure mode.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. No one else is doing that.
True. I didn't even know it existed. Like, as I said, like, nobody talked about it. Put that shit on backlogged. Oh.
I think it's surprisingly easy to get me, like, immersed in a setting just with a JPEG and an MP3. I think about, like, all the work it takes to render a film, and just taking one screen cap, putting some music behind it, and making it an ambient menu does so much for me.
It gets me excited for a movie that I normally sometimes wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just like a nice thing. It's also just nice that, hey, I got the movie ready to queue up. Now I'm going to go make the popcorn, and you got that music going on in the background. It's just like some royalty-free half the time, like, do-do-do-do-do kind of thing.
That's true. It eases you in.
Yeah, it lets you, hey, we're set up. We're not watching the movie yet, so I don't have to, like you queue it up on a fucking app these days. You go, oh, okay, I've got it ready to go. I'm on the screen. I'm going to go make some popcorn before I hit play. Oh, wait. It took too long to make the popcorn, so the 2 minutes, now the screen closed, went back to the main menu. I guess I gotta go scroll back to the movie I wanted to watch. Let's give me the good old DVD menu of old.
Yeah, that's not as good as Shrek 2 main menu being like a Brady Bunch thing, where Donkey's doing bits as everyone gets mad at him.
Fuck now, I want to go track down that movie and just put it on in the background just to look at the DVD menus. God. Days of old. Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So my thing for this week, I wanted to talk about, because I've been playing a ton of the Neo 3 DLC that just came out. And it kind of brought up something for me that I feel like games that when they found a little bit of success and then find big success with the third game in their series, that third game is always kind of losing something that makes it magical. Like Neo 3 like really made this stick out to me, but then it made me start thinking about other games in trilogies. You had Mass Effect 3, you had Dragon Age Inquisition, you had Saints Row 3, which is another thing like Neo 3 for me that really they saw that 2 started to be successful, but then they kind of misunderstood what makes them as great as they are. Like Saints Row 3, technically a much better game than Saints Row 2. I am a hell of a lot more likely to go back to Saints Row 2. Like, because Saints Row 3 leaned 100% into, like, the comedy. Suddenly your main character isn't a piece of shit. When Saints Row 2, the reason it was funny is because your main character is the biggest piece of shit in the fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it just loses something from it. Like, Neo 3 does the same thing where it does, like, no interesting or fun historical fiction stuff, which part of the reason I love Neo 2 so much is not just the combat, which is incredible, which it still is in Neo 3. It might actually be the best combat they've ever done, but part of the fun of Neo 2 is, hey, Hideyoshi Toyotomi isn't the guy's name, it's Nobunaga's ship name for you and your best friend. You're hanging out with all these historical figures, and it's funny and dumb and silly and recontextualized through the thing of historical fiction, whereas 3 does none of that.
What does 3 do?
Yes, you meet characters, but you spend almost no time with them. And part of that could just be the open world design of everything, which is good. Like, the open world maps are fun as hell. Like, they're really well designed, but you spend no time with anyone, like, any story whatsoever, really. There's nothing hooking me other than the combat, which is why when I finished Neo 3, which is still probably my game of the year, it's a fucking phenomenal game to play, but when I finished it, I didn't really feel like going back much. So when the DLC came out, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna jump in, and I'm gonna have fun, and I had fun, but now I have zero urge to go back until the next DLC comes out.
Why do you think they lost the juice?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if they're working on too many games at once right now, because Team Ninja is like, you've got Wolong 3 coming out in January. You've got, the third DLC coming out, or the second DLC coming out right about then too. Which is, it's weird, one of these games not getting 3 DLCs and only 2. It kind of makes me think they're spreading themselves thin on, hey, we found success with this game format, so we're just going to keep pumping them out. Or maybe it's they used AI to write their stuff, because honestly, the writing in this one is real bad.
How so?
There's just nothing fun to it. It's just boring.
But what does it do?
Nothing. That's what I mean.
But no, that can't be true. It has to do something.
Like, it's a time travel story, so you're going back to, like, antiquity and forward to, like, the end of the shogunate in the 1800s, and yet you are just not spending time with anything. And for me, part of why I love, like, Neo 1 and Neo 2 so much is because there was a really dumb story. It was dumb and silly historical fiction stuff. It's also my favorite stuff in Wolong. I'm sorry, Lu Bu combines with his horse. That rules.
He becomes a horseman?
He becomes a horseman for the last time you fight him in Wolong 1. And yes, it's a much easier fight than the initial Lu Bu fight, but conceptually, that's fucking funny and awesome. And like,
okay.
It has none of the goofiness or historical fiction fun that Neo 2 and Neo 1 had.
What's the different approach they take?
It's an open world game. Or open field. You have 3 open world maps, which have, like, bespoke Neo levels in them, which are really good. But there's no attempt at story, really.
So, I'm playing the game. I'm sneaking around, I'm hitting the crouch button, drawing my sword to attack enemies. There's no story happening.
Yeah. You're just running around the open world. There's technically a story taking you through, but it's so uninteresting. It's like, hey, there are these rage crucibles opening in the sky, spitting out demons. Better
Laura,
go.
I want to do an exercise.
Yes.
Let's say you're someone who is being paid to defend the story of this game, to highlight its strongest parts. What would you say?
God. What would I say to highlight its strongest parts? They do a really good job of making your brother seem like a piece of shit.
Okay, you got a piece of shit brother.
Yeah, you got a piece of shit brother. Who's fueled by rage.
Okay,
of a long dead god.
There's rage. There's a long dead god, a religion of an older age.
What if Warriors Orochi was boring? I'm really struggling. That's the thing for me. It's like I finished Neo 3 and none of it stuck. Like, it is so baseline. And then the DLC comes out and it's like, yeah, Spaniards suck, I guess. I don't know. There's...
So this is, in your mind, a problem that tends to happen with third games. The third makes it mid.
It really does, like, story-wise, or what I want from a game does. Like, go back to, like, Batman Arkham City.
Okay.
Like, it's people's need to make a thing bigger and bigger and bigger with all of their games, except losing what made things special. Like, Arkham City, I go back to that game, and all I remember is how much I hated driving around the Batmobile and how much I hated traveling around the world. That, like, even though moment-to-moment combat is still really fun, I never want to go back to those games again. Like, that game again. Same with Saints Row 3, where it just became about comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And while there are good moments, it just doesn't work at all for somebody who, like me, who liked 2 for the fact that all of your characters were just giant pieces of shit. And suddenly you're asking me to like them and think of them as good people.
They rubify them.
But, yeah.
They become blorbos.
Yeah, they became blorbos. And, like, same with, like, Rune Factory 3 had that same problem for me, where I love Rune Factory 1 and 2, but then something about 3 just, it was the same game as 2, just with a less interesting town design. And then you had 4 come out, which is the best game in the damn series.
What makes that the best game?
They remembered what was good about everything. They added a ton of different ways to play. I legitimately still think Rune Factory 4 is probably the best of the, like, farm games with combat in them.
I feel that you're being very vague about what's good and what's bad.
A little bit. Like, I think Rune Factory 3 is just another one of those games.
It doesn't do anything different.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything new. Whereas then you have people come out, go, okay, we learned our lesson. We're going to make a better thing with 4. But I feel like a third game in a series, and it happens a lot, like Saints Row, like Mass Effect 3, for instance, trying to close out a story and just not having it work. I think the gameplay in Mass Effect 3 also worse than Mass Effect 2.
It's much more juggling your powers focused than 2. Yeah. Which I liked, but is quite different.
Yeah. I mean, I liked that too, because I honestly, gameplay-wise, I think Mass Effect 2 is my least favorite in the series. A little bit, because it felt like, hey, just use guns and you're fine.
Yeah, it is the most shootery of them.
But there are just things about 3 that when they... I think some of it is you're trying to close out your story, but I also think some of it was we're going to make you feel this pressure of time that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, that's always a tough thing with a non-linear game, is making a sense of propulsive pacing.
Yeah, same with like Dragon Age Inquisition. Taking Dragon Age... I love Dragon Age Origins. I love Dragon Age 2. I love Dragon Age Inquisition, but part of my issue with Inquisition is we're making this the open world RPG with a billion fucking side quests. And Dragon Age Inquisition only works if you skip half the side quests.
There's too much. It's too much.
There's way too many of them. You've got all of this stuff happening. There's the timing of urgency that's being given to you. And yet, there's 900 side quests to do, which take forever, that kill the pacing if you do them.
I mean, the thing about that game is the thing everyone says is everyone gets stuck in the hinterlands, the first big open zone. But I think part of the reason why that happens is that zone has the most clear and understandable reason for you to be there, which is that you are a new organization, you're basically starting a new state, and you want to be internationally recognized, and to do that, you gotta help people out.
Yeah.
And that makes sense at the very beginning. It makes less sense 3/4 of the way through the game, why you, in particular, the boss, have to go do the menial labor of your country.
Yeah, the menial MMO side quest, quality side quests, which is why a lot of those drove me up the wall. Because so many of them felt extraneous and pointless, which is like the MMO thing of, hey, we're just giving you something to do. When that game did not need as much, hey, we're just giving you something to do as it had.
And I think having something to do can actually be contrary to immersing yourself in the world, where at least for my brain, I get a little too focused on like going from objective to objective, and then I stop just like appreciating the beautiful environments they made.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the opposite of a DVD menu.
Yeah. No, that's part of like the Final Fantasy 14 issue these days, is like they've built all these gorgeous zones and given you no reason to explore them anymore. You just go do your site. Oh, you need to find your aether currents to be able to learn to fly. Well, people complained about them being off the beaten path, so now all of them are within 20 seconds of the main story path line you'd walk. And it's like, no, give us reasons to explore things, please. Like, way too many games, and like that's part of why I like that there are side quests in Inquisition. There are just too damn many of them. And they send you to the same places a lot of times. So you're not actually exploring and looking around their beautiful world. You're just point. All right, time to head back.
Hypothetical situation. How would you feel if they put out a remaster of Dragon Age Inquisition that was like a director's cuts that cut half the side quests.
I would love that. Or that only added them in after you finish the game.
You have to go through multiple menus of confirmation to be like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to live this way? Is this the way you want to spend your time?
Are you sure? Like, hey, if I like a game, I will immerse myself in that fucking world. Like, there's a reason I've put like 4,000 hours. It's like, look, Jesus, I can't even say that anymore. Neo 2, I think I'm up to like 6,000 now. Because, like, I just love that game and that world and going in and the fact that I can still go online and there is an active online space in Neo 2. I can say I want to help somebody with a level and there is somebody looking for help. Meanwhile, I've been trying to do that in Neo 3. The DLC just released, so the game should be active as hell. I am struggling finding people to help.
That's a shame.
That to me is like the biggest shame, because it's a legitimately fucking amazing action game, but it hasn't hooked people the way previous ones have. Because I don't know why, but like Neo 2 on both PC and PS and PlayStation, I want to help somebody, immediately pop into somebody else's game. Is the online good? No, the netcode is absolutely not great a lot of times, unless you pick in your area. Because it just connects you with, if you don't specify that you want to connect with somebody in your area, it just connects you with anyone in the world. So sometimes you'll connect to somebody's game in Japan, and you'll just be watching things happen like 5 seconds after you hit the button.
That's 5,000 milliseconds of delay. But
no, it's usually about, like, my ping in those is usually, when I connect up to a game in Japan, is usually around 400, which is really bad with a Twitch action game.
That's pretty high. That's higher than you should want.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad when you connect up with a game that isn't in your regional area. It's very funny, but it feels real bad. But like, it is the thing of, like, Neo 3 should be super active. It should be, like, there should always be somebody out there looking for help, because it is their highest selling game. But I don't know if it is the open world design, which I've said before, that makes it so people just aren't looking for help as often or something. But I so very rarely have, like, it's so often that I can't connect to anyone in your area. There's nobody looking for help. Can't connect with anybody in your area. Nobody looking for help. Okay, I really want to help somebody, so I'm going to set it up for the whole world. Can't connect to anyone in the whole world. There's nobody looking for help. And it's like, feels weird. Like, the week a DLC released, that the online of a game that usually has a pretty active online scene is so dead.
You like to help people out in other games too?
I love helping people out in games. That's like my favorite thing to do. I do it in Final Fantasy. I do it in, that's like Neo is my thing. I go on and I log on and I go, hey, I'm going to help people today. And it sucks to not have that available as often.
What are some other games you like doing that in?
Like as I said, like Final Fantasy 14, I do a lot of raid teaching. That's like my thing, is helping teach people how to do raids and stuff like that. It's always been a passion for me. Is like, hey, I'm good enough to do this thing. If I can help other people do an ultimate, hell yeah. I want to see other people be able to do things that they go, I'm not good enough for this. A lot of times, there are a lot of people who just think they aren't good enough for stuff, and no, you are. And I'm going to help you get there, damn it.
That's really sweet. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's mostly Final Fantasy XIV and Neo that I do it in, because, like, Final Fantasy XIV is the only one where I'm, like, specifically part of, like, teaching discords, which are, you know, groups that get together and just teach people fights.
There's a whole culture of, like, MMO pedagogy.
Yeah, get, like, 6 or 7 people who know a fight, and you just take a new person in and you teach them how to do it. You don't take them through it. You don't drag their corpse through to the end. You teach them the thing. Is there enough people who would just pay to have their corpse draw through? And it's like, no, I want you to be good enough that you're going to go in there yourself after you're done with me.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, in Final Fantasy XIV, I've been doing it for years now. Like, it's been since the end of Shadowbringers, I've been helping people clear raids.
That's quite a while.
Yeah.
Have your teaching methods changed over time?
I have learned that everybody learns differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's been, like, the key lesson, is that if I tell people one way of doing things, they aren't necessarily going to learn that way. I learn by eating shit to stuff. If I don't eat shit to a mechanic and die, I will not learn how it works.
Yeah.
But, like, other people are, you know, some people are able to watch a video and pick up on how to do things. I can't do that. I have to see it. But meanwhile, once I learn how to do something, I'm able to tell people, okay, this is how I see it. I have other friends who see it this way, that if they shift their camera angle to look towards the west, they always know which way to go based on the arrow debuff on their screen. Meanwhile, that doesn't work for me, but it might work for you. You know, just learning how other people learn differently and learning to respect that.
You sound like a good teacher.
I try to be. My mom was a librarian. Like, I try to teach people the best way to do things.
And they teach you the best way to teach for them.
Exactly. You should always be learning. That's the, like, librarian way, is if you aren't learning, there's something wrong.
Learning's kind of awesome.
You should always, yes, even if you know what you're doing, learning a better way to do it rules. Or even other ways that aren't as good, which that's like the Final Fantasy XIV thing, because North America always picks, like, the worst possible strategies for a lot of fights. So it's like, I guess I gotta learn this dog shit. Okay, it's harder than than it needs to be, but let's go. Because you're teaching people to do it with strangers half the time.
Lorelai, do you have any news?
We do. We do have news this week. I just think it's important to talk about. Both Compulsion and Double Fine got all their games back. They own the publishing rights to their entire catalogs. They got everything back. They are free of Microsoft. And that's just really exciting. Like, hey, if you know, people who, like me, who have been following the BDS boycott, like, I have wanted to play South of Midnight real bad. I could do that now without giving Microsoft money. Double Fine. They've got all their games back. They've got, they are getting ready to start a new, they are doing, like, a game jam thing. Ooh. Where they're letting people pick between the, you know, which of the games they're gonna make. And they're gonna make, like, 4 small games out of it. And that's, like, really cool and exciting. Double Fine getting back out there. Compulsion having their stuff back. Being able to complete, you know, being able to build more. Because, like, Compulsion, that's a game studio that has a really interesting history.
Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, I forget the name of the first game of theirs that I played was, like, a PS4 release. I wasn't big on We Happy Few, but still a really cool game. like their style is incredibly cool. It was Contrast that came out at PlayStation launch. Just stylistically a really cool fucking platformer. Like the style of it was just like the coolest like world travel and just like old style thing. And then you have, South of Midnight, just it's incredibly cool animation style. Just it's a game that I have wanted to play since it came out, and I've heard so many people talk about it, and I've been like, I really want to play this game, and now I can. And that has me happy.
Yeah, I'm glad that these two studios were able to escape Xbox.
Yeah, escape the Microsoft thing, and it's kind of what I was hoping for with a lot of the studio shutdown stuff is hopefully we see more of it with more studios getting their freedom from being locked in with Microsoft. But like, it's nice having good news in the Xbox like craziness that's been going on over the last year.
Good news is good news, as they say.
Exactly. Is there anything in that interested you?
I haven't really looked at it. That's more of abstractly good news for me.
No. I do believe, let me see if we have any questions, and we do not, so I do believe that is going to be it for this episode of the Gamesline podcast. Our theme song is Crush from Melt Channel / Magic Circuit off the album Magic is Real. You can find them at meltchannel.bandcamp.com and magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. You can find us always at the website gamesline.net, on Blue Sky, on YouTube, youtube.com at The Gamesline, on Twitch, twitch.tv/GameslineTV, and you can join our Discord at gamesline.chat. Crystal, where can they find you?
You can find me at crystal.undertow.cards and listen to Drawn from the Undertow, the tabletop podcast I'm on.
Ooh, I gotta start listening to that. All right, you can find me at Judgment Scythe on Twitch and Blue Sky. That's going to be it for this week. Everyone have a great one. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Gamesline podcast. Goodbye!